Next up, we have Eater of Worlds, new Terraria 1.4.5 boss music by Scott Lloyd Shelley, Resonance Array from the Terraria soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Stuff for members and artists and all that. I have a full spiel for that at the end of the video, so stick around. Make sure you stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on the screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Other than that, let's go ahead and check this out. Eater of Worlds. Let's see what you got. Okay, so we start our piece over here. I don't know how much of this is gameplay sounds. I played a little bit of Terraria, but it's been a while. So we start with a very Hans Zimmer-esque. We have a guitar playing some held chords. All of it is gameplay. Okay, so this is taken from the game as well, so it's going to include sounds from the gameplay. And we're having the guitar with what sounds to be a synth that could be like either an emulation of like a trombone or a tuba, or it's just a synth that sounds like it, giving us the biggest revolution that Hans Zimmer did in music since John Williams, right? Because John Williams, he is the composer that said, what if we let trumpets do melodies and let them really go at it? That's why we have Star Wars, Indiana Jones, where the trumpets are actually the ones carrying the melody. That was very, very rare in orchestral music. Then Hans Zimmer came in with the trailer or with the soundtrack for Inception. And you've all heard this in video game music trailers, film, TV. Every trailer for anything remotely action ever since contains the following sound. Boom. Boom. That kind of thing, which we are including over here. That is Hans Zimmer, who came up with that, or at least who used it in film and revolutionized and made it, and everybody else has used it. Why? Because it works. It's epic. It's awesome. Let's see where it goes. Okay, so then we have another couple of synths giving us our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. And I think we did a version of it, and we immediately did an inversion of it. So, Inception, the movie Inception. Yeah, I love that film. I have it in physical DVD. So, inversion in music is a way that you can use to develop your material. I'm gonna bring this one and shame me in the comments. This right here is a keyboard that I've had since the beginning. It's even animated. You can see the thing. Like, I have a physical keyboard over here, and this, at the time of recording, this is LFA 451. I forgot that the keyboard that was right in front of me existed. It's been, like, this keyboard has been right in front of me the whole time. All of my setups for the last, like, 4 or 5 years has had this keyboard right here. This software I've had this whole time installed. All I needed to do was boot it up and, like, change one setting for the audio so that you can hear it. It's been there the whole time. So, yes, I will be accepting your roasts and your shaming, because, yeah. Yeah, that's a new low even for me when it comes to bad memory. So, the concept of inversion. Inversion is when you take a musical idea and you flip it upside down. So, let's say we have this melody, a very simple C major motif. If we were to invert it, instead of the notes going up, they go down. That's it. That is an inversion. And then it's like a mirror image upside down, and then you can really, really go at it when it comes to more complex ideas, which is what is happening over here with this. We are also having the very emblematic Terraria chiptune keyboard being played as well, which Terraria is one of those games that has that very specific sounding synth, and it's just synonymous with them, which is an insanely difficult thing to do and pull off, to have something so memorable as just the sound of your synth. So very big kudos to the Terraria team for having that, because every time I've heard Terraria, I think of that synth. Or every time I hear a synth that sounds like it, I think of Terraria. So let's see where this goes. Yes, and by the way, the synth, you just heard it, the Terraria, I'm going to call it the Terraria synth. The Terraria synth is doubling another, what sounds to be like kind of an orchestral synth at the same time. Doubling being when you have more than one instrument playing the same thing at the same time. And most importantly, we had them doing some arpeggios. Arpeggios is when you take a chord and you play it one note at a time. So this is a block chord, and here's an arpeggio. So arpeggios is that, and now, of course, this one being a lot more pronounced. I'm just giving you the simple, easy version, right? Let's see where this goes. Ooh. So we have some more bass instruments giving us new versions of the motif, and in the background, we have a chorus. We have a chorus in the background holding the notes. So when it comes to vocal music, you need ranges for people, and the standard composition of a chorus ensemble is going to be the SATB, otherwise known as soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. This is the most this is the standard one that you can have. Most choruses, most choirs in the world are going to have this. Soprano is going to be the higher end of the women's vocal range. The alto is going to be the lower range of women. Tenor is going to be the higher range of men, still lower than tenor. And then bass is going to be the lower range of men. This over here already makes up about 90% of the world's population. After that, you can add a couple more. You have the mezzo-soprano. In between the soprano and the alto, and then in between the tenor and the bass, you can have the baritone. So this mezzo-soprano and the baritone are either going to be the range of both or somewhere in between. So a mezzo-soprano might have the full range of a soprano and the full range of an alto, or will have a good chunk of the range of a soprano and an alto. Baritone, the same thing, is going to have either the full range of both the tenor and the bass, or is going to be somewhere in between. For example, in my case, I am a baritone. With my singing voice, I have most of the range for the tenor, most of the range for the bass, but not all the way. And these six already make up to be about 99.99% of the population. Like after that, you have your more extraordinary ranges, you know, your tenaturas, coloraturas, basso profondo, your what used to be castrati, the sopranians, all that kind of stuff that will range from being 1 in a million to 1 in a billion. Kind of thing. Like, these are extremely rare. Baritones and mezzo-sopranos are already rare as well. They're already pretty rare as well, but these other ones, exceedingly rare. So we're having the chorus doing this, because the cool thing is, with a chorus, you can hold, depending on how you do this, if you have an SATB, you can hold a 4-note chord, at the very least, with them. And you can really just make it very, very cool, and there's something about the human voice that is just really cool. So yeah, let's see where this goes. Oh. And off the ramp we go. Off the ramp being a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm not using it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a specific type of transition. It can be as short as a couple of beats, it can be as long as an entire section. And the point of it is to make your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land, kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do this? Remove the drums. maybe the bass as well. What have we done over here? We have changed over, we have added some arpeggios, very short in staccato, which is, you know, short bursts. Short burst stuff. The opposite of staccato is legato, which is just letting the notes playing all the way through. So we're having this staccato, we're having the legato, we're having the violins also doing that. Let me hear a bit more. We bring in a synth. We have a little bit of call and response over there with the synths, giving us what sounds to be a slightly elongated version of part of the motif. So elongation when you slow down a motif. So if we bring back our keyboard and we do the C major motif, if we elongate it, you just slow it down. So there are many other ways that you can do this. In this case, since the original motif is a little bit faster, it gives us this. So let's see where it goes. Now we're having the strings there, the violins giving us the tense chords, which I think the violins are playing all of the notes of the motif as if it was a chord, which is why we're getting this dissonant chord happening over here. So we are taking the motif and we're compressing it into chords. Because when you have your scales and everything, if we can play the notes one at a time. And if we were to compress it and just play them all together, you get this kind of thing. So to me, it sounds like we've taken the notes of the motif, we've compressed them, and we're playing them as staccato in this thing. Really cool way. I don't think we've seen this before too much in this channel of the motif being compressed and played as a chord. Really cool way of keeping up the tension, because you can hear that dissonance. Because when you have your chords, or you have your scales, and you play more than one note at the same time, you're going to get one of three sounds. You're going to have consonance, you're going to have dissonance, or you're going to have instability, which is just the tritone. A tritone being the only note, the only set of notes in music that is inherently unstable and also symmetrical. Sounds like this. And no matter where I play where you play a tritone, it's gonna sound unstable every single time. Why? Nature. So you have that, then you have consonance, which is gonna sound like the notes are getting along. You know, like. And then you have dissonance, which is when the notes are clashing a little bit stronger. Kind of thing. So we are now adding a lot of dissonance with the motif being compressed into vertical chunks. Very fascinating. Let's see where it goes. And then we have the drums in the background giving us some. Ooh, now we have another synth in the right ear. I think it's doing the motif plus arpeggiation, and we are moving up and down the octaves. So we're playing the motif. So if we were to be doing this on our keyboard, right? If we were to have, let's say we're extending the motif, right? So, and if we were to be doing that, we could be doing. We're just sequencing this up and down, and we're just moving it very fast. It's the opposite of elongation, which is reduction, and we're moving it up and down the scales while the chords are being held by the rest of the ensemble. This is really cool. Here we go. Yes, the violins are now holding the chords. Now we have the chorus. We have the chorus now giving us the just chords. Off the ramp we go again. We do some arpeggios. So what are we gonna get? We completely pause everything to bring in from below. We're bringing the drums and another synth. This is really good. This is really good. Let's see where it goes. Man, there's so many changes happening so quickly. So, we are having the strings in the lower end giving us more of a rhythmic version of the accompaniment, while we are having the arpeggios and the motif being slowly reintroduced through some of the other instruments. It's mostly building tension, and we bring it back down. We're doing false drops here. We're almost dropping the beat, but not fully. Basically, is what's happening. Let's see where it's going. Now we bring in the brass instruments. They're doing their version of the motif in a lower register. I like this combination of electronic and orchestral at the same time, while staying truthful to the Terraria sound. It's a difficult balance to achieve, I can already tell, but I like it. Let's see where it goes. So yes, before we got this quick moment of off the ramp, we were having the brass, which sounded to be the trombones and the tuba, a trombone and a tuba giving us an elongated version of a variation of the motif, while the strings were slowly getting louder and louder. Good way of introducing more tension onto this. Let's see where it goes. Purely rhythmic over there. We're bringing in... Okay, so we bring in a partial recapitulation of what we were doing at the start. So we are revisiting the initial bombs that we were doing at the start, and we bring right back a similar loop. Let's see. Yeah, we're having the synth giving us... Yeah, I think we're doing a loop over here. I think we looped over. No, there's some variation. There's a little bit of variation. The Terraria synth is there. Women's chorus at the high point. Man, the drums are changing so much. Like, this whole thing is changing very, very fast. It's very interesting how the beat keeps changing. The chords, not so much. But it's a very, very high speed... I mean, it makes sense, right? Because it's boss music. You want to keep your audience tensed up. So having this many changes this quickly is going to unsettle you. That's why we're getting this. Because this is designed to stress you out. Because usually you would give the music a little bit more time to breathe, but basically what we're doing is we're doing one repetition of whatever we're doing, and then we're moving on to the next version, then we're moving on to the next version, then we're moving on to the next version. So we're constantly giving you still mostly the same material. Like, we're giving you slight variations of the material every time, but we're not giving the player any time to breathe in and absorb it. We're not giving any time for the player to be like, oh, did I hear that just right? Can we hear it again? There's no moment like that. This right now is the closest we got to a full repetition. And there are still differences. There are still different things playing. For a boss fight, this is going to either lock you in or it's going to aggravate you, which I think is perfect for Terraria. Let's see where it goes. Ooh, syncopated version. Off the ramp we go to have the violins. So again, we're changing. We're bringing in more of the violins. We engage in a little bit of rhythmic displacement over there. So let me explain rhythmic displacement. Rhythmic displacement is when you move things around in the rhythm. Either you push them back or you rush them a little bit to give you a sense of displacement, basically. It's... yeah. That's the simplest way I can think of saying it. Let's see where it goes. We go back to the block chords of the motif. But the drums are slightly different now. So yes, even though we are doing the same thing musically as we did before, this is not really a one-to-one loop. There are some differences here. Some of them are relatively minor and subtle. Some of them are very, very much there. And yeah. We're bringing the orchestra. We're bringing the sequencing going up and down with the synth. While in the background, we're having the orchestral brass and things. Let's see. Chorus again, giving us the slower version. Man, and the drums change so much. Off the ramp. We're dropping everything down, and how are you gonna end this? Oh. So yeah, we're slowly slowing it down, and there you go. We were bringing in like these wind-like synths to slow everything down. We hit a couple of last chords, and there you have it. And there you have it. We kill the boss, and there's the boss music. Man, I wonder how much of this is like conditional for the soundtrack, because something you can do in games, in video game music, especially if you're using an audio engine like Wise, right? Like Wise. Yes, it's with 2 W's. I didn't mistype it. Something you can do is have certain layers trigger at specific points, given specific conditions. So let's say we have layers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you have, okay, layers 4 and 5 are gonna always play, but layers 1 and 2 only play if the player does something, or if the player has a certain amount of health, or if the boss has a certain amount of health. Like, once the boss goes down a certain amount, then we can trigger layer 3. If then after that the player has a certain amount of duration in the weapon, layer 2 can trigger. So you can really mess around with all of these, and you can make all this kind of conditional music, which gives variation to your loop. So you can start with a very simple loop, which this was not, and then you can just change things around as the conditionals. And as a game developer, you can set these conditionals to be anything you want. Now, some of them will be more difficult to implement than others, of course, but it does make, especially for a video game like Terraria, which is a very open world, no 2 instances of the boss fight are going to be the exact same kind of thing, it really plays into that. It really, really plays into that, rather than just having a single track that plays through, which explains why they were showing it with the gameplay, because then the conditionals in the gameplay would determine which layers are playing and which ones are not, which would explain why, when the music looped, the loop was different, because there were different conditionals that were applied that unlocked different layers of music. This is a bit of a lost art in many video games, especially because nowadays, especially in AAA, we don't see conditional music being done as much anymore, because you just have composers making you like these super cinematic soundtracks, which by their own right are incredible. Look at Expedition 33, one of the best soundtracks ever made in the history of mankind, but it is going to miss out on this kind of conditionals. Whereas a game like Terraria, you will have stuff like conditionals that you can implement for this kind of thing. I think in this case, it might have been the case for the boss fight. I can see them doing this. Like, this might not be the case for every single one of their tracks, because that's not very practical. But when you have something like a boss fight, you can add these conditional tracks to expand, and that way you can mess around with your layers. Now, composing for something like that is very different, but yeah, it's really cool, and it explains why they showed it with the gameplay and not just the music. It makes sense, because then there's the conditionals that happen. But yeah, there you go. That was Eater of Worlds boss music from the new Terraria 1.4.5 patch from the Terraria soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas of 2025, I will take a single fan fiction of the choice of the community, and I will fully produce, record, and voice act an audiobook for it. We also have a member who offered to do a Discord Nitro giveaway. We might do other stuff like that. If you want to offer to contribute to the hype, or if you have other ideas for me, let me know, and we will make it happen the best we can. This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no botting, no alting, no buying followers, nothing like that. No rat behaviors. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two distinct concepts, by the way. Go use the hype function on YouTube. I don't know how it works, but we have a group on the Discord that does, so go check out the Discord link down below. Go coordinate with them. Artists, Terraria team, if you ever want to get any music from me, if you need some guitars, or if you want some Mongolian throat singing, the good old kind of thing, or voice acting, I don't think it's necessary for Terraria, but anything like that from me, just let me know. Same goes for any other artist on YouTube. If you're a musician on YouTube and you want to collab, let me know. My doors are open. If you know any artists, if you're in the audience, you know any artists that could benefit from it, let them know. Do not harass anyone. Do not spam anyone, please. Be cool about it. Do not be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you are not on the live stream, if you're on the live stream, you can go ahead and start requesting now. And if you're not on the live stream, check the pinned message or the pinned comment in this video. It has the instructions on what to do. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch, both linked down below. So, if you live in Haarlem, Suriname, and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch, both linked down below. And follow the gaming channel. We have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where we put the gaming after-show recordings when they happen. They get recorded in the main channel, and then the recordings go on the gaming channel. Link down below, or just search on YouTube. Same username as James R. Basterd. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you go. Boss Music, Eater of Worlds, Terraria patch. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.